boys and girls. This is a quick video to help you review area and perimeter. The first thing I want to talk about is area. Remember, area is length times width. Now, you might be asking, why is area length times width? Well, the word area and array have similar meanings. They go hand in hand. When you're finding the area of a rectangle, you're really just counting the blocks on the inside. Area is an array, so to find the area of this shape, one thing we could do is count the boxes on the inside. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The area of this shape is 18 square units because there are 18 squares on the inside of the shape. Now, that's not the only way I could have solved this problem. Since there are 6 blocks across and 3 blocks down the side, I know the area of this could also be found by doing 6 times 3. If we check our multiplication chart, 6 times 3 is 18. So the area of this shape is, again, 18 square units. Okay? Area, array, and we multiply to figure out the total of an array. Now, perimeter is different than area. Area is the space on the inside of the shape. Perimeter, though, is the outside, the sum of the outside length. So perimeter has the word rim in it. It is the outside of the shape. It also starts with a P. I like to tell people P perimeter plus. P perimeter plus. There's also this handy dandy T in the question, so that kind of looks like a plus sign. So a couple of different ways to help you remember. Perimeter is the outside of the shape. So it's the sum of the outside. Okay? So to find the perimeter of this shape, we wouldn't count all the boxes. We instead would count around the shape. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There are 18 units around the shape. So ironically, this had the same perimeter as it had area. Sometimes that'll happen, sometimes that won't happen. In this case, it did. And I can check that by putting the distances of each side on the side and adding those together. Since perimeter would be length plus width plus width. So we have 6 plus 6 plus 3 plus 3. Well, 6 and 6 is 12. 3 and 3 is 6. 6 plus 12 is 18. So the perimeter is 18 units. Okay? So once we know what area and perimeter are, we can answer lots of questions about area and perimeter. Say you're given the question, a rectangle has a length of 10 feet. And it has a width of, let's say, 7 feet. You could be asked, what is the area of that rectangle? Well, I first would start by drawing the rectangle, and I could draw it on grid paper and do a 10 by 7, okay, and count all the boxes on the inside. That's fine. Or I could use my equation, area, since area creates an array, is length times width. So we have 10 by 7. Well, if we multiply 10 times 7, we will get 70. So the area is 70 square units. Say we now want to find the perimeter of this. Well, remember, perimeter, P plus, that's adding up all 4 sides. So if I were to continue, so I have a 10 and a 7, opposite sides of a rectangle are the same. So if this side is 10, this side is 10. If this side is 7, this side is 7. So if I add all four sides, 10 plus 10 plus 7 plus 7. Let's look and see what we get. Well, 10 and 10 is 20. 7 and 7 is 14. So if I add 20 plus 14, I get 34. The perimeter is 34 units. That is the distance around the outside of a shape. So in this case, the same rectangle has an area of 70 square units and a perimeter of 34 units. We can also answer questions when we're given the area or given the perimeter. For example, if a rectangle has an area of 35 square feet and a width of 5 feet, what is the length? Okay, so I've drawn my rectangle and I know that the width is 5 feet. And I need to find the length, the other side. Well, since area is length times width, since I've been given the area, this is just filling in a missing factor. 35 is going to be equal to 5 times blank. Since area is length times width, I need to figure out what times the width equals the area of 35. So that's when our multiplication chart would come in handy again. 5 times 7 is 35, so we know our missing side is 7. And I could always check that on grid paper. If I created this on your grid paper, remember it's in our virtual manipulatives, and we count, we would see that we get 35 blocks. All right, let's do one more. So say this time we're given the perimeter, P, perimeter plus, adding up all the sides. If we're given the perimeter of a rectangle, say the perimeter of the rectangle this time is, let's say 40, okay, 40 units. Okay, this time we'll have the length. The length is going to be 10. So we want to find the width. Okay, I'm actually going to change that 10 because I'm thinking ahead. That would actually make a square. We'll make the length is going to be 15. Okay? So since I know the perimeter is 40, I know that all four sides together are going to equal 40 altogether. So if these two sides are 15, I need to find these two sides. Well, I think we should draw a part whole. Since our total of all four sides is 40, that is going to be our whole. Because 40 is going to equal 15 plus blank plus blank. So we know 15 and 15, and we do not know the other two sides. So we can start by adding what we know, 15 and 15, and that's going to be 30. So since this is a total of 30, we're now going to subtract that from the total we started with. So 40 take away 30 is 10. So that means the missing sides equal 10 together. So if they equal 10 together, that means each missing side would have to be 5. 5 is the missing side. And the great thing about questions like this is we can check our answers. If we add together 15, 15, 5, and 5, we should get 40. 5, 10, 15, 20. Drop a 0, regroup those two tens. 2, 3, 4 tens, 40. Check. The missing side was definitely 5. Okay? So if you know the basics of area and perimeter, you can answer any question about them. So remember, P perimeter plus area is an array, and we solve by doing length times